here. Wolfie showed up. Hey, he's driving. Never mind. Umpax. Whoa. Dark. I never did know how to say your name. It's Dark AJO. Hey, buddy. You can kill a bag of spicy hot nacho Doritos in one sitting. I can kill a bag of spicy sweet chili Doritos in one sitting. I had to just stop buying them because I could seriously just eat a bag and be like, damn, that was good. And that's a problem. Excuse me. Planeswalker Pat found sriracha covered almonds. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. Wait,
Oh, I
almonds?
think I got. Yeah, I've gotten those too. I can't remember if Ashley found them in a store somewhere, or if like I got them in some stuff that Mom found. But yeah,
I'm trying to remember if I like almonds enough to actually want to try this. I think I do. I think I like almonds that well, yeah. Sriracha
used to get
cashews, I
those
would
big.
probably just die.
Yeah,
Because that's too good.
used
We're
to get
talking
those
about
big.
snacking, and
Thing.
Wolfie's like, I just bought a house. You can't eat a
Well,
house, weirdo.
Is it a house full of Cheetos?
Is it a gingerbread house?
it's an expensive habit.
Did you buy it from a little old lady? Because,
But no, that's awesome, Wolfie.
yeah.
Obviously, you're not trying hard enough if you can't eat a house. Shut up, Faye. All right. I think that's 2 minutes. It's surely recording now. We can begin. Everybody good?
Good.
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Ow, jam. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode 623 of the Mana Pool, and I have to reiterate that the Mana Pool is not responsible for any accidents you may get in while listening to our show because you lose control of yourself laughing. There's one person right now who was like, ha! Because this is coming from a conversation that I just had with a listener recently. So. But yes, just so you know. So, hi, I'm Chewy, and I am the lead dork, and I am joined, as usual, by all these other dorks. Hi, dorks.
Hi, I'm Brian. I'm the lead rambler, tangent master of the group. And, you know, we're still all needing to do our part. Not saying we don't. But a thought occurs to me that I've been wearing a mask for a long time, a year. And I'm falling down on something. And if by the time we don't need to wear masks anymore, I have not ordered a mask that looks like Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, then I have failed at life. Because it's like the easiest thing. Like it's just a gray mask, and if you go with some versions, maybe it has the little venti things on the side, like from the live action movies, but it's right there. And I look back at myself and I'm like, what have I been doing for a year? Come on, man.
That is pretty good.
I'm Mike. I'm the rules guy and game lore guy. And let's see.
Fascinating.
No, I don't have it. Yeah, it's I don't have any snappy mask related comments.
What's your favorite mask you got?
What's my favorite mask I got? Let's see. My favorite mask, I think it's the one that's most comfortable to wear for long periods of time. It's one that Ashley's sister made. She made several for friends and family members, like
Oh, cool.
early last year. And now that I think about it, the structure of it is very much like the Shredder mask that you're thinking of.
There.
Of it.
All right, then. Clearly, it's the superior design.
I'm Dirk, the self-proclaimed greatest man alive and moral compass of the group. And my favorite mask is usually it's one of those black masks that uh, you it it is very reminiscent of the Shredder mask. It forms right around your nose, goes right around your face and everything. So yeah.
What, like a mask?
I know. Well, the thing is that there's also the medical masks, which always have like one little side that's always puffed open. It's definitely not a medical mask.
The mask I wear most often is an N95 mask.
Mine's definitely not in N95.
But my favorite mask is the one that's Chewbacca's mouth and nose.
On theme.
Damn right.
I haven't worn my N95 one in a while. I would usually wear it and then a bandana over it, but I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, Mom got me a box of a bag of N95 masks back when they were actually harder to find. She's like, "Hey, I got some for you." I was like, "Oh, cool." But I wore the surgical masks for a good long while. And when I ran out of those, I went, "Let me crack these open." And then, oh, these are nice because they fit nice and snug, but not like too tight. And it's good stuff.
Nice.
So I wear them until they start to not be comfortable anymore. And start to like grab hold of the hairs on my beard and stuff. Jesus. Which is what the one that I've got now actually needs to be thrown away because when I took it off today, it was like, yeah! And I was like, oh God, ow, bastard. It's not good. But anyway, we're not here to talk about masks. We're here, weirdly enough, to talk about magic. Sorry there was no episode last week, but everyone but Mike was basically either dead or had other things going on. And so we, like Dirk had a sick kid who was bouncing around the house barfing everywhere, and Brian was exhausted
Just
from
awful.
court all
awful.
day, and
Yeah.
I was I don't know if it was the first like hot day last Thursday, but I just felt like crap all night, It was terrible. And then Mike was like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah,
Which,
weirdest
if you've
thing.
been listening to us for any period of time, is kind of the exact opposite of how this usually plays out. Not that Mike is always like rough, but he works real hard. So, as opposed to me, so.
So yeah, that's why there was no show last week. We're gonna have to pick that back up and do it soon though, because that was a good topic. And I'm sure we'll get into some of those tonight.
There's a distinct possibility, yeah.
But so what we've got is Modern Horizons 2 previews have begun, and I think I said this with the last Modern Horizons, but I swear this stuff feels like Commander Light.
It does.
Because just so many of these cards are goofy and bizarre and would be right at home in Commander. And I swear, I think I said that last year.
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the first set brought us some really interesting build-around cards like Yawgmoth.
When was the first Modern Horizons? Sorry, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah. Last year doesn't count, so...
Right, last year, because it's still March 2020.
Yeah.
Which means it was last year, yeah. But, okay, so... We're just gonna jump in here.
Now, like, Modern Horizons 2 had a couple themes, like one of which was the return of the snow mechanic. This was back before Kaldheim.
Well,
You mean one?
What'd I say?
Well, you said two.
2. That's what we're going to be talking about today. The first Modern Horizons. I don't know that this one... I mean, I see a couple of mechanics that are here and there, but I don't think there's, like, one big overarching theme. Does anybody else?
it's hard to tell because this isn't the full set still yet. There's still a lot of gaps in the list that we're looking at.
True.
So we're missing a lot of things.
And I haven't read any articles about anything at all because, to be perfectly honest, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't even know if there has been like a mechanics article or anything like that.
I'm going to be completely honest. I loved Modern Horizons 1. For some reason, when this was coming up, and especially for the first couple of previews, I was kind of like, meh. Not because the previews were bad, but I didn't even really think about it happening. Between work being crazy, between the fact that we just got off of Strixhaven, and now we're coming up on Legends from the Forgotten Realms, and we're still not playing Magic in person yet. I was a little slow to look at these previews, but still love Magic, and these are wacky. And if there's one thing I love, it's wacky cards. So I was slow to get to these, but the ones I've seen have really made me go, oh, really? And full disclosure, I have not read all of the cards that are available today. So I'm going to be reading some for the first time, which may be good or bad. That's really up to you guys.
Okay, now that Brian is done talking lawyer talk,
Ah.
we're just going to jump into Garth Onei.
Okay. What color is that?
Garth Onei is multicolored. This
Oh,
feels Mike.
Yes, because it's 5 colors.
Is it demon?
That
That's
too,
awesome.
but
No. So Garth Onei, and my understanding is that he's one of the old novel and short story characters.
he was the protagonist in the Arena book, apparently.
Okay, got it.
According to the Discord. Hey, you should join the Manapool Discord, by the way, listeners.
So Garth Onei costs a Wooburg, 5 mana, white, blue, black, red, green, for a 5/5 legendary human wizard who is mythic. And it has one very long activated ability. Tap. Here we go. Choose a card name that hasn't been chosen from among Disenchant, Brain Geyser, Terror, Shivan Dragon, Regrowth, and Black Lotus.
What?
Create a copy of the card with the chosen name. You may cast the copy. A reminder, you still have to pay the costs. So you choose one that hasn't been chosen yet. So you can't just be like, first turn, Black Lotus. Second turn, Black Lotus. No, you got to choose a different one.
This is okay. I hadn't read this one.
So Disenchant, 1 and a white, instant, destroy target artifact or enchantment.
Yes.
Brain Geyser is X blue, right?
X blue, sorcery, target player draws X cards.
Yep. Terror is 1 and a black, instant, destroy target non-black, non-artifact creature?
Correct.
It can't be regenerated.
Correct.
Because it used to be Bury. Shivan Dragon is 4 red for a 5/5 flyer with fire breathing.
Yes.
Dragon. Regrowth is 1 and a green?
One and a green. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Black Lotus is 0, tap and sack, get 3 mana of any one color.
Yes.
So, Mike, I play... Now, of course, the big thing here is this guy costs Wooburg to get out.
Yeah, you got to get it onto the battlefield first.
Yeah. But, so... I get him out. Next turn, I tap him and I say, I don't know, Black Lotus. I mean, yeah, we all go to that when any of these are great. I would love to be able to just like, hey, get a dragon. I then blink him out. He comes back next turn. Can I choose the same name?
Yes, you are allowed to do that because the ability only really knows about itself and it only cares about itself. It doesn't take information from any other instance of Garth Onei that would have existed previously in the game.
That was what I was working off of, but I just thought I would make sure. So
yeah, there are already people coming up with bizarre, like infinite Black Lotus combos with blink effects and skill haste and whatever. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Where there's a card, Magic players will break that card.
If at all possible, yeah.
If you were serious about it, you'd come up with an infinite Shivan Dragon combo.
That does sound better.
Well, knowing you, I thought you were going to say infinite brain geysers, for yourself. That is pretty cool. The first preview card that I saw that really made me catch my eye.
Okay, wait.
Really
You're not about to jump away from Garth Onei already, are you?
Well, what else do you want to say about it? Like,
the fact that this is a completely new technology. Like, this is making copies of cards that don't exist.
That's true. That's true.
That you then cast.
It's interesting because you have to know what those cards do, which is exactly why you just said da 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 da.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it. Maybe I'm
and the game can do it because names, the English names as they're defined are unique to specific cards. No functionally different cards can share a name.
Right.
They're exactly the same thing. So you do have this capability built into the rules to approach it from that way. The last time we saw something like this, remember those spell shapers from Future Sight who could make token copies of creatures that already existed, except it was like, tap, discard a card, create a 1/1 green elf warrior token named Llanowar Elves with tap, add a green mana.
Yeah, it had to spell what it did because one of them was from was a core, no, not a core, a Kithkin that made a card that hadn't been made yet.
Yeah, so that wouldn't have worked at the time. It's like, make a gold Meadow Harrier token. I was like, what the crap is a gold Meadow Harrier?
Well, don't you know, Mike? It's a 12/12 that kills Mike when it might.
Yeah, it has battle cry, kill Mike.
Kill Mike.
The beardiest person at the table loses the game.
Man, that's a good card.
It's a really good card. So no, I mean this card is amazing. It's one of those things. I think I see it, I get exactly what it does. I'm like, that's cool, and I keep moving. But I certainly appreciate what this does. Yeah.
Yeah, I missed it at first that you have to cast the card. I was like, tap, get a dragon seems pretty freaking good. Wait.
Well, I mean, again, it is Wooburg to get this guy out, other than shenanigans. So
you have some mana.
And the fact that you can't just tap it and get a 5/5 every turn.
Yeah.
I'm fine with the fact that you have to cast the spells. That's fine, but truth be told, I think it could go either way.
I think it's better that you have to cast the spells.
Yeah.
Because if it, like I said, it was just tap, get a dragon, I'm like, yeah, that seems fine. Tap, kill a thing. Tap, kill a different thing. Yeah, tap, get a different thing back. This is stupid. But that's not what it is. It's tap and pay 2 to kill a thing. That's still pretty good.
Still pretty good. But
yeah, this is the first card that I read and made me go, they have all of them lost their damn minds.
It's cool tech.
It just it gets weirder. The more cards they show, the weirder it gets.
Yeah.
So Brian, where were you gonna go next?
So may I? Okay. So the first card that really made me stand up and pay attention was, in fact, on this row. Although I think this was the first multicolored card previewed. Dakon Shadow Slayer. In canon, did Dakon Blackblade become a planeswalker? Question mark. I don't know the lore that far back.
I don't remember. I only know real world Magic lore,
not what if
stories. Yeah.
But as you recall, in his original incarnation, wasn't he Esper colors white, blue, black, and he had power and toughness equal to the number of lands you controlled, something like that?
Yes.
Okay. So here we have the Shadow Slayer, who costs a white, a blue, and a black. 3 mana for a 0 loyalty planeswalker. Value. But he has the static ability that he enters the battlefield with a number of loyalty counters on him equal to the number of lands you control. Which is very, very interesting to me that you have this variable number. He has 3 abilities. +1, Surveil 2. Somebody that can tell me what Surveil actually means without me butchering it.
So Surveil is Surveil was the Demir Guild mechanic from the last time we visited Ravnica. You look at the top N cards of your library, put however many you want into your graveyard, and the rest on top of your library in whatever order.
That is so much more concise than I was going to put it. So thank you. -3, exile target creature, and -6, you may put an artifact card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield for free. Which, keep in mind, if you play this guy when you have 6 or more lands, you can just immediately get that last ability.
Yeah, you can just do it.
But getting to surveil multiple times for 2 is good. So that first ability is obviously very blue and or black. That second ability is white and or black, and that last one is definitely also white and or black. So maybe even more white than black. Oh, it's more. It's like white blue, isn't it? Because it's an artifact. So, interesting. So that was the card that made me go, "Oh, really?" Because it's a name that I know, even though I don't know all the history of it, and it's a planeswalker, and it's got a variable starting loyalty, and I'm like, you have my attention. And then I've seen other cards, and they make me go, "Buh."
Yeah, Dakin has been referenced so many times now. Like there was the original Korlash. That was the first reference to Dakin that I remember that wasn't Dakin himself.
Right, with Grandeur, yeah.
Yeah, because that was Korlash, son of Blackblade or something?
Heir to
Blackblade.
Man, when we played 60 card, I had a 60 card deck that was built around that, and I loved it.
And then there was the Blackblade itself was printed at some point. Was there another version of Dakin printed too?
I think there's been callbacks to this, but Blackblade itself was printed in Dominaria, and it was a plot point where our heroes
picked up by Gideon.
Yeah, which Gideon Blackblade is pretty heavy metal, I gotta say.
Yeah, Fayan just pointed out Richard Ken Ferguson is still doing the Dakin Blackblade art, and actually, if we go to the variants and scroll down, there are too many freaking variants.
That's because everything in the set is a variant, right? Or not? I'm exaggerating, but
I mean, not by much though. I love the sketch version of this.
Yes, that's cool. That's really cool.
I have zero interest in any variants at all, but if someone were to drop this down on the table across from me, I'd be like, ooh!
What's that distraction behind you? And then...
look at that. I've got it. I've got both of them on the tab, and I'm back and forthing. That's so cool! But anyway.
Neat. Okay. Hey, Dirk. Is there a card that you saw? Or Mike? Is there a card
I haven't even looked at any of this. But I will pick Grist, the Hunger Tide.
Oh my god, Grist is ridiculous.
Okay, haven't seen this one either, so go ahead.
Alright, so Grist, the Hunger Tide is a scary picture. For 1 black-green, it's a legendary planeswalker, Grist, that has 3 loyalty. And says, as long as Grist, the Hunger Tide, isn't on the battlefield, it's a 1/1 insect creature in addition to its other types.
Okay, I'm going to stop you and let you finish in a minute. What? As long as this isn't on the battlefield?
Yep. And it has been ruled that means that Grist can be your commander.
Okay.
Cool.
Like Sheldon tweeted that out with, yes, for God's sake, that is what this means.
Does this mean you can also get it with like a creature, like a creature tutor?
Yeah, like a worldly tutor or a raised dad, or
yeah,
or like is it natural selection or survival? Survival of the fittest.
Dude, you can zombify this.
It has a convert mana, or it has a mana value of 3.
Fool just said, dude, you can zombify this. I don't know why, but that was really funny to me.
I mean, he kind of looks like a zombie. All right, Dark, you can keep going, but I'm just like my brain is twitching. This set is weird, in a good way. But
All right.
wow,
The first loyalty is +1. Create a 1/1 black and green insect creature token, then mill a card. If an insect card was milled this way, put a loyalty counter on Grist and repeat this process.
he's an insect lord.
Yeah, he's like. It looks like he's a swarm of insects, a sentient swarm of insects.
Yeah, it's like what is it, Spider's Man?
Or
Oogie Boogie
swarm.
Man.
Or Oogie Boogie, yeah. Okay, next.
All right, second loyalty ability, -2. You may sacrifice a creature. When you do, destroy target creature or planeswalker.
I'm like, I'm gonna kill this rat. Destroy your Nicol Bolas. Seems fair.
Yeah.
You like toss a rat at Nicol Bolas. He's like, get it off, Ebola, and he flies away. Okay.
And then the last loyalty ability is -5. Each opponent loses life equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard.
From all that milling you've been doing. Oh, jeez. Not to mention extra copies of this guy.
Yeah, extra copies of Grist. Extra copies of Grist count as insects for the first ability, and they count as creature cards for the last ability. That's awesome.
Hey, Mike, rules question.
Uh-huh.
If he is at exactly 5 loyalty and I minus that, is this card in the graveyard when this ability resolves?
Yes, it is.
Okay, then. This is a... So, the brain, the Johnny part of my brain is like, there are so many things to do with this, and I kind of really want to try it out. But then there's another part of my brain that I guess it's the Timmy part that loves like the big effects. That is like, I tend to go big versus go wide. That's like, Brian, this is encouraging you to like basically make a deck of 1/1s. Is that a good idea? And I'm like, I don't know. I feel conflicted, and yet I'm intrigued. Maybe I want to see somebody else's deck do this.
Wait, why is it encouraging you to play a deck full of 1/1s?
Well, I guess not all insects are 1/1s, are they?
Oh, insects. Okay.
We
I
need
was
to
like,
have
what?
maybe there's an insect anthem. Yeah. And I'm picturing like cicadas, like all chanting.
I haven't seen any giant swarms of cicadas out here. Have you guys anywhere?
I have not, for all of the brood X that I've been reading about. No.
I've heard I've heard some noise, but I feel like it's not a lot.
Yeah, I haven't heard any more than usual. Just since you brought up cicadas, and this was supposed to be the year that whatever brood unburied itself and ran roughshod over the universe.
I think it was supposed to be brood X, but yeah.
I don't even know what that means. But dang, what was that? Hey, Banahinuva just subbed for the 26th month. He said, this set is bazonkers, and I'm delighted. This set is definitely bazonkers. All right, Mike, you're the only person that can say it. Would you like to say the card? I mean, do the card?
Oh, yeah, he probably is the only person that can actually say it.
I mean, out of the four of us, anyway, because you've said it before.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about Asmore?
Oh, that's disappointing. Come on.
No, I mean, I was just making sure before I go all into it.
Well,
Asmore and Amar to cut a Stina Koldakar.
Don't you hate him? He didn't even have to practice that. We've been on a call with him for... Hold on. How long have we been on this call? Discord. Call started at 7:30. We've been on this call for just over an hour. He has not, like, practiced that or anything. He just knows it. Don't you hate him?
It's because when I was reading the short story that she appears in, years and years and years ago, and also from, seeing the name in the flavor text of Granite Gargoyle, it was just like, I have to figure out how to say this. And I devoted so much concentration to it that now I can't not say it. Asmarina Marticudistina Coldicor. I can't not say it correctly.
Wendigo just said that was a wave file. Face cam hurts not real. Okay, Mike, I need you to hold your nose and say it again.
Okay. Asmarina Marticudistina Coldicor.
Yep, see?
All right. Now, okay. I try to be a nice person. I really do. But you saying you can't say it wrong gives me the very dark impulse to try and screw it up so badly that you never hear it correctly in your own head ever again.
If anyone could do it, you could. Brian.
You bet I could. But I'm your friend, so. And chances are my pronunciation's generally so bad. Watch, I'll try and get it wrong and get it right the first time and never be able to do it incorrectly either. So we're just gonna leave it alone.
Yeah.
So what does this card do?
Yeah, what's this card name do, Mike?
Yeah. So, first thing, the name is so long that there's no room for a mana cost. So we'll get to that part later. So Asmore is a 3/3 human wizard, legendary, of course. And it has a color indicator dot, a black and red color indicator. First ability, as long as you've discarded a card this turn, you may pay 1 black-red hybrid mana to cast this spell. So if you've discarded a card this turn, you can get a 3/3 for 1 mana. Awesome.
That seems kind of sick.
Yeah, you just got to go through the trouble of discarding something. When Asmarina Marticudistina Coldicor enters the battlefield, you may search
Now
your
you're
library.
just showing off.
Yes, I am. You may search your library for a card named the Underworld Cookbook, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And we'll get to the cookbook in a minute here. Last ability, sacrifice 2 foods. Target creature deals 6 damage to itself.
I got to admit, so there's a lot of words on this card, including one very long one. For some reason, when I read this the first time, I really thought it had to be a creature you control dealing damage to itself. And I'm like, this is terrible. Why do you do this? And I read it again. I'm like, oh, no, you don't do that to your own creatures. That would be bad.
Yeah.
But nothing else in this card seemed to make sense to me anyway. So I get to that bottom line. I'm already very confused. So it could have said, make a smorgasbord token and then, feed this card to your cat. I would be like, sure, that makes as much sense as anything else. Come here, Chip.
Yeah.
But
in the short story that she appeared in, she had summoned a Lord of the Pit and was, had to constantly be coming up with ways to, have it not turn around and kill her. And she recorded all of these bizarre exotic dishes that she came up with in the Underworld Cookbook. And that is what's referenced on the flavor text of Granite Gargoyle.
Yeah, let me pull that up
Way
real
back in the
quick.
day.
Granite. There we go. So yeah, this was dropped in the Discord earlier today with a circle around the Underworld Cookbook by Longname with wow, and I was like, oh, you noobs are so cute. Yeah, Granite Gargoyle. The card itself, it's a 2/2 flyer with butt breathing for 3 in red, which is weird. But the flavor text is, while most overworlders fortunately don't realize this, gargoyles can be most delicious, providing you have the appropriate tools to carve them. Look, her name is so long it doesn't fit on Oh, that's awesome. It falls off of the little colored box here for the text.
Was it referenced again on Basalt Gargoyle from Time Spiral Block?
I think so. Was it Basalt? It was something like that. Basalt Gargoyle.
Basalt.
Nope.
Okay.
Because that has no flavor text.
Dang.
But you know what we can do? We can do an advanced search and go to flavor text and say Underworld Cookbook.
Cook.
Search. There we go. Lightning axe? What?
Oh, yeah, lightning axe.
Oh yeah, lightning axe. A gargoyle's meat can be carved with an ordinary cleaver, but for its petrous hide, and that's on lightning axe. And then, of course, it's on saute, which is from Unhinged. Selecting the proper beeble is the key to a good saute. The pinker the fur and the heartier the yelp, the more succulent the beeble will be when you pop it in your mouth. But, yeah, so this character goes all the way back to, what was the Granite Gargoyle from? That was an alpha, right?
Alpha. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, what is the Underworld? I don't actually think I've read the Underworld Cookbook. The card. I obviously haven't read the Underworld Cookbook. Ooh, so I'll read it then. So, for one, it's an uncommon artifact. It says, tap, discard a card, create a food token. Okay. Oh my god! You can discard a card which lets you play Asmore. Huh. And then 4, tap and sacrifice the cookbook. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. I really love that she and the cookbook work so well together in multiple ways.
That's true.
That's really cool. But it also trips me out that she has sacrificed 2 foods, essentially, to kill a creature. But she doesn't make food at all. So there have to be, hopefully there's more than just her that does something with food, or just the book that does something with food in this set.
I thought I saw another food card, but I can't remember where it
But
is.
even if it doesn't, this isn't meant to be a limited card necessarily.
I saw food. I saw food. It was up at the top on a really weird card, like, most of the set. There is a card, it's a common, called Late to Dinner. And it has a rhino.
The white card. I love this card.
It has a rhino in a suit, eating with a spectral elephant.
In a suit.
Sorcery, common, for 3 and a white. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Create a food token. Which feels super random. Is incredibly flavorful. The flavor text. I knew you were set in your ways, friend, but even I didn't expect you to keep our engagement under the circumstances. His friend the elephant was late to dinner because he was dead, but he apparently showed up later. And because he came from the graveyard. Did he bring the food? Is that why you make a food token? Because I would not eat food from the underworld. That's like a pomegranate, like, don't do it kind of thing. And I don't like pomegranates.
Well, no,
like,
you create the
just in
food
general.
token because it's dinner.
Yeah. I just want to know which side of the veil it's from. That's my question.
I would assume the host, because otherwise that's just weird. What is this, a potluck? How come I have to come to dinner to your house and bring something with me? What is it?
Well, he's late, so it's the only polite thing to do. But the alternative is that this food has been out for a while. So, he's late. What do we know about this guy? He's late. That's the only thing we know. And he's dead. But, he's not on time. I'm just saying that food is either really cold or really cold. So
But yeah, this is the best flavor on a reanimation spell that I've ever seen. Like, this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also weird that it's in white. Because it's
really
just zombify plus a food.
It's zombify plus a food just for 4 mana straight up in white at common.
Yeah.
I actually really like what this... I'm getting caught up with the flavor. I really love what this card does because it's just no hoops, just zombify.
Yeah. But because it's
awesome.
white, yeah, they gave it that completely different flavor, and I
Yeah.
am here for it.
Yeah, you're not raising this guy as a zombie to work for you. He's just late to dinner. But he
Yeah,
showed up.
as Stark said in the chat, late to dinner is wholesome as hell. It's just, aw.
Yeah.
And Ben said that food is a sub theme in the set. Food, clues, and treasure.
I'm beginning to notice an artifact theme just in general, because I also noticed that there was an Arcbound sub theme, which I know Dark loves Arcbound.
Oh yeah, the very first one I looked at, I was like, Arcbound, modular. I remember that.
I'm just saying though, that says Arcbound Mauser. That's not a Mauser. Mausers are those things that the Ninja Turtles have to fight.
That's
Oh,
what
I thought it was the mouse that threw bombs at Mario.
Oh yeah, that was
With
Mauser
the
too, wasn't it?
glasses? Yeah.
Wait, was that it? Was his name Mauser? It was, wasn't it? You're right. Yeah.
But Dirk, have you seen the legendary Arcbound creature?
Nope.
It's at the end of the artifacts.
Oh, Zabaz. Yeah, there we go. I was like, hang on, I forgot.
The Baz, the
And
Glimmer Wasp.
I'm not talking about this because it's a wasp, but you go ahead.
The Baz, the Glimmer Wasp. For one, it has a 0/0 power toughness. It's a legendary artifact creature insect that's rare. It has modular of 1. If a modular triggered ability would put one or more +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, you may put one +1/+1 counter. That many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead.
Wait, that many +1, +1,
Hold on.
+1.
If a
God.
modular trigger ability would put one or more +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead.
+1, +1, +1. What?
There we go. Like, oh no, hold on one second.
I want to know if that was a bet with someone in design of like, can you make it say +1, +1, +1? And they're like, just watch.
Challenge accepted. It also says for red, destroy target artifact you control, and for white, Zabaz, the Glimmer Wasp, gains flying until end of turn.
So it's a little interesting that first ability is destroy instead of just sacrifice, but I guess it's more in flavor with red. And this gives it a red-white color identity, right? So if this guy is your commander, you can play with artifacts as well as red and white cards.
Yeah, because the color identity is red and white.
Yep. Ah.
And Fan said, made the clue joke. 1 + 1 + 2 + 1 + 1. Okay.
So Dirk, you can finally build that modular EDH deck. It just can't have blue or green in it.
So there's a new sword.
I saw the name. I haven't read it yet.
Oh, you should read it.
I should read it?
You should read it.
Okay. This is the Sword of Hearth and Home. Okay, I have not read the ability, but just kind of glancing up and down. All swords of blank and blank cost 3 and have equip of 2. Looks like it's consistent here. Artifact equipment, it's mythic. Creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from green and from white. Okay, have we had a green and white yet? I know that we had the enemy colors for the first cycle. And I know there were offbeat ones like the Sword of Dungeons and Dragons or whatever. But I don't think we've seen a white and green. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, exile up to one target creature you own. Then search your library for a basic land card. Oh, I was like, okay. Put both cards onto the battlefield under your control, then shuffle. Okay, that first ability, the white ability, I'm doing the finger quotes here, threw me for a second because I'm like, do you not get it back? I just wasn't done yet. I wasn't patient. So basically, the first ability is blink something you own, which is important. If somebody has stolen it from you, greedy people, you get it back. And the second one is uh, a rampant growth, but a rampant growth that comes in untapped. Because this doesn't say put the card in tapped. It does say basic land, but all right. Yeah, this is good. I mean, every sword, even the worst sword, is like still great, and this is really good. Because you get when you hit the opponent, you get a free blink effect and a rampant growth. Yeah, yes, please. That's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if this is Kaldheim in the background, because I'm wondering if that's, you know how the world tree is visible on all of the layers of Kaldheim. I'm trying to figure out if that is the world tree in the back.
And the way the hilt of that sword is designed.
Yeah.
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 So, all of the swords we've had, like, the only swords we've had are the enemy colors, right? This is the first of the allied colored ones, right?
That's what I was trying to think.
The blue-white one was in Modern Horizons 1, wasn't it?
Was it? Oh.
Wasn't it?
Hell,
I'm looking at.
Okay,
I'm going to gather. You can keep going.
But I do like that since this is the green and white one, both of these are, like, beneficial for you. There's no, punch your opponent or do something to them. It's just, hey, good stuff for you. Thank you.
When I put in sword and gather sword of and it comes up with 7. And yeah, we do have white and blue from Modern Horizons 1. It's the Sword of Truth and Justice.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control, then proliferate. That seems really awesome, and I guess I never got a copy because I don't remember that at all.
Ben said the black and red one was in there, too. This shows you how much I didn't pay attention to the last Modern Horizon set, other than the cards that destroyed Modern.
Sword of Sinew and Steel, black and red. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 target planeswalker and up to 1 target artifact.
Right. Okay, that one does sound familiar now.
Yeah.
The blue and white one does not ring any bells at all in my head, but that doesn't surprise me.
I'm sure we covered these.
Oh, yeah, we did.
And just hasn't really come up in our group.
So that means there's
2 left.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll take like 7 years to get the last one, or however long it took.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, wait. There were a couple of cards that were requested earlier.
Okay.
Someone asked for Carthalion.
Carthalion. What color is that?
Multicolored, right next to Asmore.
Mike hasn't taken a card in a while.
Yeah, Mike, you want to read the Lion?
All right.
But that's a human. That's not a lion. This card sucks.
Carthalion is a legendary human warrior. Very deceptive. For 2 a black and a green, it's 3/5. My understanding is that this is another story character. I don't think I've read this story. Whenever Carthalion enters the battlefield, or a planeswalker you control dies, look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal a planeswalker card from among them and put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Okay, so he's a big friend to planeswalkers, apparently. And a very big friend of planeswalkers because his other ability is planeswalkers' loyalties abilities you activate cost an additional +1 loyalty to activate.
Whoa.
Okay, so that means if it says +1, it's actually +2. Well, if it says -1, it's actually 0.
Well, okay, so technically, say a planeswalker has a -8 ability. If they are at 7 loyalty, you cannot activate that ability, correct?
Sure, you can't, because now it costs 7.
Does it? I thought that each of those was a separate cost. So, can you not pay both costs because you can't pay the -8 until you get the extra one?
So so this would presumably follow the same rules as as calculating costs that you would normally. First, you start with the base cost, then you add on any additions, then you take away any reductions, and now you have the total cost to determine what the cost that you actually have to pay is. You don't pay like part of the cost and then like part of the and then the additions and then get a rebate on the reductions. No, you add them all together first to determine what you actually need to pay. So if the regular cost is 8, that means Carth will make the final cost 7.
Okay, so that makes it even better than I thought it was. I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Thank you, Mike. That was exactly why I had that question.
Wow, that means that like Sarkon can have a plus ability. Huh.
Sarkon can add? Yeah. I mean, the Elspeth that has return also only originally has negative. It means Jace the Mind Sculptor is actually still dumb. Yeah. Luckily, this would be a 3-color deck at least. So.
Huh.
It also means that any Planeswalker with a +2 ability already is going to be very, very, very difficult for them to remove.
Yes.
It's true.
This is a weird set in the best way possible. There's a lot of squirrels too. Notice how there's a couple reprints after the new preview cards alphabetically, and there's a couple reprints in each one that we've seen so far.
Yeah. There was something else someone asked us to do, but I don't remember what it was.
I don't recall either.
Yeah, I don't either.
Maya land? Okay, so
Oh, that's not
that
here yet.
land isn't in the list we're looking at yet, so.
But yeah, because it was just shown today. But hey, you guys remember Herborg? The one that made everything swamps?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It does that for forests.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all lands are forests in addition to their other types.
I guess putting Herborg in here with Cabal Coffers might be a bit much. Because, hey, look, Cabal Coffers.
Just a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's Urza's Saga is a land.
It is.
Wasn't that one of the first cards for the set that was revealed?
I totally missed that it was a land.
Totally missed that it was a land.
Totally.
Yeah, when I saw this card, it was like my reaction to it, like this is the personification of a brilliant, awful pun in Magic card form.
How you mean?
Urza's Saga. It's called Urza's Saga. It's a reference to story. It's a reference to this set.
Right.
It's an enchantment land. It's an enchantment because it's a saga. It's a land so they could put the Urza's subtype on it. The subtype is Urza's Saga.
Oh, it's an enchantment land. Oh, I missed that too. What the hell is going on here?
I know.
I'm kind of glad that this stuff is not going to be standard legal because, yeah. Okay. I scrolled past it and didn't see what it was. And then I was like, wait, what? There's a Draco here.
I know. You should read
Are we not going to talk about Urza's Saga since we brought it up?
Oh, yeah.
I thought we already did like a while ago. But sure. Let's talk about Urza's Saga.
I don't think we talked about any of this stuff.
Yeah, no. All right.
So yeah, it is an enchantment land. So you have to. The only way to play it is to, land or something that fetches the land anyway. But it is also a saga, so it has some chapter abilities. Chapter 1, Urza's Saga gains, tap, add a colorless. All right. Chapter 2, Urza's Saga gains, pay 2, tap, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Okay. Chapter 3, Search your library for an artifact card with mana cost 0 or 1. Oh, exact mana cost 0 or 1 generic.
Yeah.
Not just mana value. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle.
Like Soul Ring, but not exploration. Because Soul Ring costs 1 generic mana. Exploration costs a green mana. So
Well, yeah, I mean, exploration is an artifact anyway, but like
that's also
not Arcbound Mouser, which costs a single white. That doesn't work.
There you go.
That's a weird ass card.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I kind of like it.
This is not a card to play on your first turn, just because that second chapter is not going to do anything for you.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're not too worried about that. If you need the mana, and if you're more interested in Chapter 3 anyway, sure, go ahead.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay. So I had a misunderstanding. I was like, okay, if you play this on turn 1, even if you play a land on turn 2, you're never going to be able to, get those 2 mana. But that first chapter gives Urza Saga tap for a colorless permanently. It doesn't play until end of turn. Oh, okay. So you can go turn 1, play this, turn 2, play forest, make that. I thought, ooh, okay. Oh, then you definitely, this is actually fine to play on the first turn, because on turn 3 you're probably replacing it with a mana rock, probably.
Yeah, and on turn 3, if you hit your land drops, you'll be able to activate the ability that it gained in Chapter 2 anyway, because you're allowed to, when the also, Chapter 3 trigger goes onto the stack, you can respond by activating that other ability.
So you make another one.
No, never mind, because you haven't played another land yet. Never mind. That's wrong. You haven't played your third land yet at the time it triggers, and you won't be able to do that in time, so never mind that part.
Well, you can still, turn 1, play this. Turn 2, play a forest, tap, activate, right?
Well, no, you need to pay 2 and tap to activate it.
Oh, 2, it's 2 and tap. 2 and tap,
yeah.
2 and tap. All right.
If you play it on turn 1, you're not going to get the second ability without doing some funny
I wonder how long I've been doing this wrong, except that, the card hasn't been released yet, so.
Wow. All right, we spent a long time figuring out how not to play this card. Good.
It's a weird card.
Okay, so Draco, yes.
All right, so I just, for a while I was like, am I the only person that loves Draco? Apparently not, because this is a direct callback. Scion of Draco costs 12 mana, but not really. It's an artifact creature, dragon. It's mythic, as it should be, and it is a 4/4, which 4/4 for 12, you're like, sure. Okay. However, it has domain. This spell costs 2 generic less to cast for each basic land type among lands you control, just like Draco. It has flying, still just a 4/4, but this is amazing. Each creature you control has vigilance if it's white, hexproof if it's blue, lifelink if it's black, first strike if it's red, and trample if it's green.
Huh.
Yeah. It doesn't give itself any of those abilities minus some sort of weird ability to, give it a color. But this is a great card because it's domain. You want to play as many colors as possible. This is not so much like the original Draco was a finisher in that it's huge. This is a finisher in that you've maybe got a couple things already on the battlefield and you drop this. Those things immediately have those abilities and they're just like raw. I want you to picture all of your black and blue, like all of your black blue creatures having hexproof and lifelink.
I mean, that sounds good to me.
I think it.
Yeah.
I think you feel great about it. I think your opponents are like, well, I'm just gonna crap. Well, I'll just tear the Scion. Wait, no, I can't do that.
Ha! You already used your disenchant from Garth, idiot.
There you go.
I also really love the card next to him. just because it's so stupid. The Monoskelion.
Oh, see, I read the name and I wasn't sure what it was referencing, but it's a Triskelion, but
But
mono.
1, yeah. For 2 mana, it's
Okay.
a 1/1 construct artifact creature. It enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it, and you pay 1 and remove a counter to deal 1 damage to any target.
Now, just like the original one, that doesn't kill this. If you find another way to get +1/+1 counters on it, like modular, then you can keep firing.
Yeah. But
It's super cheap.
luckily,
Plus
it
the
does cost
Triskelion.
mana to use the ability.
Yes. Oh, that's true. The original one, it was just free, right? Because you had that combo with the vampire, the Mephidros vampire,
Yeah.
which, yeah. So, yeah, this is probably fine. But I love the fact that it does come down early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's a funny callback.
Yeah.
Sort of like Sign of Draco. That's not funny, really.
Yes.
That's actually somewhat terrifying.
It's actually very terrifying. But because you can either go all in on the 5 colors or you can really specialize, you can build the deck that, you want to build here. And I like it.
Yeah, I mean, like, play at maximum domain, you pay what? 2 for this?
2.
Yeah.
Wait, does waste count?
No,
Mhm.
wastes don't have a type. That's why they don't mess that stuff up. Wastes don't have a type.
Okay, right. They don't have a type. Okay, it's been a long time since I actually used the waste. So,
Mhm.
okay, so yeah, the least you can pay by itself is 2, but I mean, getting this effect for 4 or even 6 is fine.
Yeah.
Like, I would drop this in like a, I don't know, what, red-black deck? It seems, at least as far as my brain is concerned, best in either red-black or red-green, because First Strike and Lifelink and First Strike and Trample are just, mwah, beautiful.
Mhm.
First Strike and Lifelink, especially with black creatures that maybe like care when you gain life, could be, that could be really great.
Yeah.
Mike, what was that black enchantment you would play with? It none of the rest of us would play with, but you weren't afraid of the unspeakable symbol. Um,
Oh yeah, you pay 3 life to put a +1/+1 counter on a creature.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you could, like, if you've got a black red creature and they go to make a trade with your first strike, you could like deal enough damage that maybe you're not going to finish the creature off, but then you could pump it so that it survives the return blow, something like that. I don't know. Go nuts.
Pump it first, you'll gain more life back.
If you have the life to put into it, sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Mike, there's a request in the chat that you read The Diamond Lion.
Of course there
Alright.
is.
The Diamond Lion is a callback to Lion's Eye Diamond. This is the line that the eye came from, I guess. It's an artifact creature. It's a cat. Costs 2 for a 2/2. The ability is, so the cost is tap, discard your hand, sacrifice Diamond Lion. The effect is add 3 mana of any one color. Activate only as an instant.
I don't get that last line.
So that's important. Normally, mana abilities use different timing rules than other abilities. That's why, like, you could be.
Okay.
That's why you can, announce your spell, put it on the stack, and then tap your lands and mana rocks and land of war elves to pay for it.
Gotcha. By
But
changing this timing.
yes, that means you can't use it to make mana during that cost paying step for a spell or ability. You can only use it at a time when you'd normally be allowed to play an instant, meaning you have priority, which prevents you from being like, okay, I'm gonna announce this big expensive spell and I'll get mana from Diamond Lion to help pay for it. No, you can't do that. And that was part of the original balancing on Lion's Eye Diamond as well. They built that in there. But of course, there's ways around everything, and people found other applications for Lion's Eye Diamond. Ridiculous applications for Lion's Eye Diamond. Ridiculous and awesome.
Completely
And
ridiculous.
yeah, and Diamond Line is a callback to that. Now, Diamond Line, of course, costs 2 mana instead of 0, and has Summoning Sickness because it's a creature. So that's even more balancing factor built in. It's still a pretty cool card.
It is pretty neat. Hey, Dirk, you alive?
I am.
Did you see this blue-green thing here?
I was looking at it a little bit.
The snake elf
I didn't get
scout?
around to reading the whole thing, though.
Oh, well, you should read the whole thing.
Got a
for
lot
us.
of words on it.
It
Yeah,
does.
it does.
That's why I got Dirk to do it, because I'm not going to read the damn thing.
So, Lanus, cryptozoologist. So for green-blue, it's a 1/2 legendary creature. Snake elf scout. That's rare.
That's really weird.
You already know it's going to be good.
Like, the snake elf part I get, but the scout is like, what?
Hey, you never know. Alright, so whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, investigate.
That just means make a clue, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
And clues are pay 2 and tap and sacrifice to draw a card.
Yeah.
It's like food, but drawing.
Yeah, and like treasure, but not mana.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Alright, so tap, sacrifice, X clues.
No, don't sacrifice clues. I love that guy.
Target opponent reveals the top X cards of their library. You may put a non-land permanent card with mana value X or less from among them onto the battlefield under your control. That player puts the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order.
Which is funny because if you get a creature that way, you investigate.
And found a creature.
That's a
Yes.
really cool ability.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Well, if I have this, I definitely know what I'm doing.
You making a lot of clues?
And then I'm looking at Mike's deck.
Yeah.
Don't take the demons.
I won't take the demons. I'll take all the other stuff that says, hey,
No,
when this happens, you all die.
Yeah. No, he'll take the only one that doesn't have a built-in drawback, so it'll just be all downside for me.
Be like, I'm going to pick this one so that way when I'm going to die slower.
Non-land permanent card. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
My brain turned that into creature.
It could be an artifact. It could be a creature.
Planeswalker.
Planeswalker.
Yeah, my brain turned that into creature, and I read it again and went, oh.
Yeah, that's what I did the first time I read it, too.
All right.
I'm not where my brain went the first time. My brain went to, that means enchantments.
So,
Stuff I can stick on my creatures. Like Ancestral Mask.
oh my god.
You an ancestral mask.
Nothing bad happens when you're playing with masks. Only bad things happen to people you play against when you're playing with masks.
Lord. All right, so there's a person in chat who has requested Gaia's Will, and this card is what's the word? Stupid.
It is. And it is a reference to another card for the name and the effect and the art even.
Yeah.
So Gaia's Will is it's a green spell. It has a green color indicator because it doesn't have a mana cost. And it's one of these suspend spells that can only be suspended, under normal circumstances. Circumstances. That's the word.
Circumspection?
Yeah, that one. So it has suspend 4 for single green. Until end of turn, you may play lands and cast spells from your graveyard. And if a card would be put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, exile that card instead. So yes, it's a green Yawgmoth's Will with suspend.
Which
Green
means
well, let's
it-
also play the lands. Yeah.
Which means it's a Yawgmoth's Will that you're not spending mana on that
Right.
turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to wait for it to go off, and your opponent can see that it's about to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, buh. And no, I didn't go with circumcision, but you probably thought I would.
And it's interesting. This doesn't have as much of the changer with the cascade loophole, because if you're building a deck to cascade into this, you're going to have a bunch of stuff that costs like 3 or 4 in your graveyard when it happens. So it's not going to be some kind of super crazy combo turn. It's going to be rough to pull that off. Because if you fill your deck with a bunch of cheap stuff, then you're going to be constantly tripping over that when you're trying to cascade into this.
That is a good point.
So
this card just makes my head hurt. Because it's Yawgmoth's Will, and Yawgmoth's Will is supposed to make your head hurt.
So what were the most interesting / terrifying creatures from Judgment?
Oh God, I know where you're going with this. What are they called? The Incarnations.
The Incarnations, which in their original cycle were a bunch of creature cards that had some basic ability while they're on the battlefield, but had an enhanced ability while they were in your graveyard, as long as you controlled at least one basic land that shared a color with it. Like Wonder gave all of your creatures flying while it's in the graveyard, and you control an island, at least one island. Then they brought them back in Lorwyn, but they had an effect on the battlefield, and then if they died, they got shuffled back into your library. So it's kind of the exact opposite effect. But, again, they're supposed to represent some amorphous concept given reality. And they all named after some, again, concept or idea versus like a physical thing. And we've seen there are a couple in this set. And so far, I think there are 2 here plus a reprint. But I see here Grief in black. And Grief for 2 and 2 black is a 3/2 elemental incarnation. It's mythic. There are lots of mythic cards in this set. Like, holy cow. It is a 3/2 with Menace for 4. When Grief enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. And you're like, this seems actually pretty good. This is a lot of value. What makes it mythic? And this one and the other one that we've seen from the new set, though we'll get to in a minute, both have Evoke. And here, his Evoke cost is exile a black card from your hand. Evoke was in Lorwyn. And Evoke is an alternate cost. Instead of paying the mana cost, you pay this cost. And usually with Evoke, it's some sort of alternate mana cost. It's not usually free. Well, this one is kind of free. However, when you cast a creature for its Evoke cost, it is then sacrificed. So it essentially, you're getting the enters the battlefield effect. Think of it almost as like turning it into like a sorcerer instant, right? So here, if you just want that discard effect, you can just pitch a black card from your hand, bring Grief out, he hits the opponent's hand, and then he goes to your graveyard. Then again, you're in black, maybe you can find a way to get him back later and get to do that trigger all over again and have a 3/2 with Menace.
What is
So,
this spell again?
duress,
I get all of those black discard spells confused.
I think it's duress. No, well, duress doesn't let you get creatures. So, uh, somebody in chat, maybe?
Mike, do you know? Are you muted?
Sorry, I was having a side conversation.
Oh, okay.
It's not coercion. Coercion, you can get everything. I can't remember what the one is that's just non-land. I know it's been printed that way before, but I just can't remember the name of the specific spell.
Yeah, me either.
So, but I mean, getting any non-land spell or card, especially if you're just like turn one, pitch a black card, play grief, seems pretty good. I think whatever they're planning to do is going to be at the very least disrupted.
Yeah, there's another one up here in blue. Subtlety.
Okay, is subtlety very subtle?
No. Subtlety for 2 blue is another mythic elemental incarnation. It's a 3/3 with flash and flying. When it enters the battlefield, you choose up to 1 target creature, spell, or planeswalker spell, meaning it's on the stack. Its owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library.
Who gets to pick where it goes? You as the controller of subtlety or them?
No, its owner decides, right?
It's
or do you...
owner. Mike?
Wait.
For some reason, I'm blanking on.
This is.
Let me go to gatherer.
This
and
is
just look at something like Hinder.
memory lapse, right?
No, memory lapse is always on top.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at Hinder.
Hinder, that's the one. I think.
There's been like 30 years of Magic cards. I think we're allowed to get someone.
Yeah, and we don't.
So Hinder says put that card on top or bottom. Subtlety says its controller puts it on the top or the bottom. So its owner, so its owner will choose.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
But I'm not done yet. It also has Evoke of exile a blue card from your hand. So it's almost a Force of Will, kind of, sort of, for... Not Force of Will, but it's almost a free Hinder for creatures or planeswalkers.
Yes.
Because with Evoke and Flash, I'm pretty sure that means you can flash out the Evoke cost, right? Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah. Otherwise, it would be really stupid.
Yeah. Oh, and hey, they reprinted Wonder, which is the flying one, which is one of the ones a lot of people probably cared about the most. I think in our games, we actually saw a lot of them. Probably Wonder and Brawn.
Drawn and Anger,
and
we
anger,
saw the most,
and
I
anger.
think.
Mm-hmm.
Valor, which is Vigilance. Is it
No.
Vigilance or First Strike? It's
Yeah.
First Strike. It was okay. And Filth is always the best answer for any Mad Lib. Just any. But if there's one that's infamous in our group, Genesis, again, is kind of wonky. Glory is the one that has probably been the closest to banned in our group. It's never gotten there, but I think I'm the only one that has one.
Yeah, we
And
always hated Brian.
The looks that I would get was like, oh, good.
Well, I feel like Brian is the only one that has one. I have Glory, but whenever I play it, it just gets killed.
Isn't that what you want Glory to do, though?
Wait, no, you're right. Never mind. Whenever I play it, I feel like I never get to use it.
Clearly, he doesn't do it right, whatever it is.
Yeah,
So,
clearly I haven't played this card in a while.
Oh, that's great.
So I have no idea what the heck it does.
I feel like, I don't want it to sound pompous, but I feel like this card is more associated with me than with Mike.
Yeah. It is.
So,
Lord.
Oh, we got something in the chat. Unmask is basically Grief, except not a creature. So Grief is Unmask on legs. It even has the alternate casting cost.
I don't remember Unmask. What's that from?
It was from Mercadian Masks.
That's why. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Timeless Dragon?
I did.
Thought that was a
It's
neat
like-
little callback.
There's so many callbacks here.
Where's
This
that
is a
one?
callback to
Yeah, it's in
Eternal
white.
Dragon, right?
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
Eternal Dragon.
for-
Eternal Dragon rules. So I definitely love Timeless Dragon.
Oh, tell us about Timeless Dragon.
Timeless Dragon costs 3 and 2 white for a 5/5 dragon with flying. That's a good deal. It has plane cycling of 2, meaning you can pay 2 and discard it and search your library for planes and put it in your hand. But it also has like basically a kind of a pun callback to Eternal Dragon. It has Eternalize for 2 white. So if you remember from Hour of Devastation,
Yep.
Eternalize was an ability where you could exile the card from your graveyard and make a token copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. With
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this says with no mana cost. That's interesting. I forgot Eternalize worked that way. It took away the mana cost. So you can Eternalize it for 4 and get a 4/4 black zombie dragon with flying.
Yeah. So you either get a 5/5 on turn 5 or whatever, or turn 2 or 3, you plane cycle this and then go ahead and Eternalize it
Yeah.
and get a 4/4. Yeah.
Yeah, nice and simple.
I want to see the token for the Eternalize, because if you remember in Hour of Devastation, they printed tokens for every creature that had Eternalize. So I want to see the Eternalized version of this. Chewy, have you read Out of Time?
Out of Time. No.
Yeah, read it just straight off the bat.
Where is it?
It's directly above Timeless Dragon.
Oh, it's in. Well, I went down to blue because it's called Out of Time.
Yeah.
All right, Out of Time for. Oh, that's pretty. For 1 white, it is a rare enchantment. When Out of Time enters the battlefield, untap all creatures, then phase them out. What? Until Out of Time leaves the battlefield. What? Put a time counter on Out of Time for each creature phased out this way, and it's got Vanishing. What the hell is that? Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah. Yep. I read this
Untap
one.
all creatures, they all phase out, and then it gets that many time counters. Wow. And Vanishing, for those of you that aren't ancient, at the beginning of your upkeep, you remove a time counter, and when the last one is removed, you sacrifice the Out of Time.
It's the version of fading that makes more sense.
Right.
So,
Because fading
yeah.
was whenever you can't remove a counter anymore, then you sacrifice it. And that just feels clunky.
So, short of disenchant effects, because if you're in a 2-player game and each of you has 3 creatures, this is going to get 6 vanishing counters. And you only remove one at the beginning of your upkeep. That's a long time. That's in a 2-person game.
Yeah, so
That's on this. Now, of course, there's a better
get those
chance.
disadvance ready.
Yeah, there's a better chance that you're going to run into that sort of effect. But then you're going to have all sorts of enters the battlefield effects. So, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Stark pointed out that they didn't make the Eternalized tokens. They made the Embalm tokens.
Did they not also do Eternalize?
Or did they?
I thought they did.
Since they were all 4/4s, I just sort of assumed they just made an Eternalized token. Oh, they did that too. Okay, never mind. My bad.
Okay.
I mean, Stark
Okay.
didn't actually say that
I think Stark was
they didn't
responding
make
to
those.
someone else.
Oh, okay. Okay, he was not responding to Brian. Never mind then.
And yeah, the other, the Sarah's emissary on this row is just completely dumb.
Okay, what's that do?
For 4 and 3 white, so a total of 7 mana. It is a 7/7 with flying. It's an angel. It's mythic. As Sarah's emissary enters the battlefield, choose a card type. You and creatures you control have protection from the chosen card type.
Holy crap.
I'm
I
just gonna.
choose magic cards.
Well,
I
okay.
You can't
concede.
actually choose.
I
You
want
can't
to.
actually choose magic cards.
Well, this is not legendary, so you kind
That's
of
true.
can. Yeah, maybe you can with enough copies. I think 99% of the time you're just going to say creatures because you having protection, not to mention all the creatures you control, having protection from creatures is just wrong.
It does feel
But-
wrong.
But then there's also like, oh, you know, short instants and sorceries are pretty good too. Now, yes, this won't protection from Wrath of God does not mean this won't blow up, but protection from instants protects it from terror and dark banishing and all that good stuff.
Lightning bolt,
Yeah,
boomerang effects.
Yeah.
disenchant. So
Well, unless you have enchantment creatures, that's probably not.
yeah, I know. I'm just being silly. Choose enchantments if you don't want her to be pacified, I guess.
I guess. Ooh,
Yeah.
Seal of Cleansing is in the set, so
Yeah,
there might
Seal-
be other seals.
See, there's the seal of removal in blue.
Oh, there is? Hey, look
Yep.
at that.
Yeah. hmm And because Seal of Fire and Seal of Doom have been reprinted before.
Yeah.
Seal of Strength is like, I don't know if Seal of Strength is worth reading. But I'm really glad to see Seal of Cleansing and Seal of Removal. Those are fun.
Oh
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's a baby flame tongue.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Its
cute.
head.
Look at him.
His head is so big though.
It's so big.
Just so... Why don't you tell us about it and then we should check in on Dark.
Yeah, it's a good card too.
All right, Flame Tongue Yearling for red is a 2/1 uncommon Kavu. It has multi-kicker. Okay. Now, the Flame Tongue Kavu was a 4/2 for 4,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
It hit something for 4 when it came in.
Right. A creature.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a 2/1 for red. It has multi-kicker of 2, and it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each time it was kicked. Oh, so if you kick it once, it becomes a 3/2 for 4. All right, got it.
Mhm.
And it enters the battlefield. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature. Oh my god, it's so cute.
And let me just say, this should show how busted Flametongue was, because creatures have only continued to get better since the time that it was released, which was what, Apocalypse?
Yeah.
And yet, even still, while this is pretty good, and I love the fact that you can just drop it for 2 and, get a cheap guy and hit something really hard for, like, shock a creature for 2, that's great. But it would cost this 6 mana to get close to a Flametongue Kavu. Because Flametongue Kavu was just too much value for what it was, even back then. Probably especially back then.
Look at his big old head.
This set has I'm only really beginning to understand how many callbacks this has. Look at Spreading Insurrection. And just, like,
Ah!
the art, everything is just evocative of the original one. This is pretty simple. Effective, but simple. For 4 and a red, it's a threaten. Gain control of target creature you don't control until end of turn. Untap that creature, gains haste until end of turn. But this card has Storm. So...
And it was when I read Storm that I said, bah!
everyone wants to be on the winning side. How you doing, Dark?
I'm good.
Well, okay then. Dark, what do you think about squirrels?
Maybe the Chattering Fang?
Yeah, or any of them really.
The Chattering Fang kind of, I don't know, there's a bunch of things about just the art that just makes me pause for a minute. So it's a squirrel that's
It
running
makes you
down the tree.
pause.
And the fact that it looks like it's a green squirrel with fangs.
Yeah, are those fangs, or is
That
that
might
like
be
a? I think it's like a necklace of teeth
think
of
it
things
is.
he's killed.
I think it is because it's Chatter Fang Squirrel General. So
Maybe.
it's a Squirrel Warrior. Oh my god.
So Chatterfang Squirrel General for 2 and a green is a legendary creature, Squirrel Warrior, who's mythic and is a 3/3.
That's a big ass squirrel.
Mm-hmm. Has Forest Walk
Because of course it
because
does.
because if one or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens are created instead.
Yeah.
So
So
for
essentially,
every-
what that means is whenever you get a token, you get the token and a squirrel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the language that they used on this, you got hung up on the ++1+1+1 thing earlier because the grammar that they use is a little tortured, and I'm
Just
not
a little
sure
bit.
why. I guess for rules reasons, but they're all like I guess grammatically correct, but grammatically awful. But
Yeah.
So
But
if you create
essentially-
5, if I
Yeah.
create 5 tokens, I get 5 squirrels.
well, you get those 5 tokens, whatever they were, plus 5 squirrels.
Right.
Now, if those 5 tokens were squirrels, you
get 10 squirrels.
10 squirrels. But if you get like a bunch of plant tokens, you also get a bunch of squirrel tokens. And then it also has something else.
Okay. Just clarification.
Yeah.
All right, and he also has black. Sacrifice X squirrels. Target creature gets +X -X until end of turn.
I love that ability. So either you cover an enemy with squirrels until they die, or you cover a friend with squirrels to help attack.
These flavor texts on these squirrels are just amazing. I realize there's no flavor text on this one, but I just read Chatterstorm. And I'm like,
Chatterstorm is ridiculous. It's Squirrel Storm.
yeah.
Isn't that a joke that oh god, that like Rosewater made forever ago?
Probably.
But yeah, for 1 and a green, it's make a 1/1 squirrel, and it has storm, and it's common. Buh. Chatterstorm, shut up.
Friends, Forager. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, but what's the flavor text?
Friends, foragers, fuzzy fighters. Tonight, we're after more than just acorns. Laurel, deep forest hermit, who I think is probably also a squirrel.
And that squirrel looks like it will. I can't say that on the show. It will mess things up.
Yeah. So if you go down a little bit and you pass the frog samurai, which is a thing, you get to Squirrel Sanctuary and Squirrel Sovereign. Because squirrels.
Mm-hmm. Squirrel Sovereign is crazy.
Well, what's it do?
One green. It's a 2/2. Squirrel Noble. That's uncommon. What makes it crazy is all those 1/1 squirrels. No, they're not. Because it says other squirrels you control get +1/+1.
Read the flavor text.
For rule of the Aldering Forest, Numbstail stole the acorn from Nestwind, who stole it from Branky, who stole it from Lightroot, who stole it from Leafpaw, who stole it from Darkfur. ...
That's a callback to one of the old flavor texts
I've-
from Goblin King.
I've got it up. to be king, Numsgill did in Blog, who did in Unkful, who did in Viddle, who did in Lol, who did in Alrock, ... Had it ready.
All back from Futurama.
That's awesome.
One of the best things to come out of 7th edition. One of the only things to come out of 7th edition.
Well, I think that flavor text was on the 5th edition version.
And then you've got Squirrel Sanctuary. For 1 green, it's an enchantment, uncommon. When Squirrel Sanctuary enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you may pay 1. If you do, return Squirrel Sanctuary to its owner's hand.
Oh.
Which is not only going to get you another squirrel, but anything that likes it when you get non-creature permanents or permanents onto the battlefield or anything like that. Like, I don't know, Lonus, cryptozoologist, is like, oh great, I see more squirrels, I must investigate.
Luckily, Lonus says non-token, so no.
You still get the Squirrel Sanctuary. You
But
still replay the Squirrel Sanctuary.
Lonus only investigates for non-token creatures.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
she grabs non-land permanents, but she only cares about creatures.
Thank you. My mistake. I'm sure there's still other lovely stuff to do with this, though.
Whoa, dinosaur!
Whoa, dinosaur. Oh, the big one?
I haven't seen this.
Well, go ahead and read it, because it's amazing.
Okay. Thrasta. Thrasta, Tempest Roar. For 10 green.
But
all right.
Yeah, just keep reading.
It's a legendary creature, dinosaur, that's mythic because dinosaur. It's a 7/7. This spell costs 3 less to cast for each other spell cast this turn. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
it likes Storm.
Yeah, it does. It likes lots of things. Okay. It has trample and haste. It has trample over planeswalkers.
Which, without even reading the text, you know exactly what it does.
I'm gonna guess when it kills a planeswalker, the rest of the damage tramples to the controller, right?
Ding, 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 ding.
So what's it say? This creature can deal excess combat damage to the controller of the planeswalker it's attacking. Okay.
I love abilities that even when they're the first time on, you're like, I get it.
Yeah. And then it says, Thrasta Tempest Roar has hexproof as long as it entered the battlefield this turn. Jesus. This is a cool-ass card.
Yeah.
This really wants to be played with, like, Chatterstorm.
Yep. And literally right next to it is a card with Rebound, which, as a reminder, sorceries and
Rebound.
instants with Rebound give you an extra copy for free. So right there, that's a free extra spell for Thrasta on the next turn. There's also a couple cards with Suspend, like we said. So.
Huh.
And there's a Frog Samurai.
There is. What the hell's a Frog Samurai?
The Jade Avenger it's a
oh my
better
god,
bear.
look at him.
For 1 and a green, it's a Frog Samurai. It's common. It's a 2/2 with Bushido 2.
What the hell? What? Froggy fighter at the gate. Draw your sword and meet your fate. A traditional children's rhyme.
Which tells you this happens enough to make it a rhyme. You don't make up a rhyme for something that never happens.
I have seen people mention Frog Samurai, but I never actually saw the card. It's literally a frog. Alright, any of you listening to the audio version of this, look up Jade Avenger, because that's amazing.
It's official. We have power creeped past grizzly bears. I'm sorry, Runeclaw bears. Which, yes, I know we did a long time ago, but still.
Wow. Look at him.
Is his name Jack? Wacha.
I'm pretty sure it's Frog. And he's holding the Masamune.
Or no, what was Frog's name? Damn it.
Oh, so, no, Glenn.
Glenn,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
now that music's going in my head.
Yeah, mine too.
You're welcome.
Thank you, thank you. So,
Sylvan
Dirk, did
Anthem
you see
only costs
Sylvan
2
Anthem?
green.
Sylvan Anthem.
It's right next to the
Well,
Squirrel
I'll go
Sanctuary.
ahead and tell you guys what it says. Sylvan Anthem. For 2 green, it's a rare enchantment. Green creatures you control get +1/+1 because why not? There's no. It's sort of like cowbell. You can never have too much cowbell. Just like green, you can never have too much +1/+1 love. Whenever a green creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1.
Oh my god, there are squirrels in this set. That's ridiculous.
But I love how it's taken them this long to make a card with the same mana value, or convert mana value, or whatever, however they say it these days, as Crusade, but in the right color. Okay, I'm not saying Crusade's in the wrong color, but you know, white gets to pump its creatures, but green doesn't. So,
Huh. Oh my god. Wait, is that right? Wait a minute.
What?
Stark just said that it's a functional Yeah.
Maybe the flavor text is like a functional reprint of.
Well, okay, wait, yeah, not a functional, because Chub Toad is a 1/1 for 2 and a green. That says if it's blocked or
Chubtoad.
if it blocks or is blocked, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Okay. This is a 2/2 for a 2/2 for 2 that essentially Bushido is Chub Toad has Bushido. Huh.
Oh, so
yeah,
this
the
okay, so
flavor
that's what this
text-
is in reference to, really, because Chubtoad basically has Bushido, so let's make a Frog Samurai.
Yeah. And I can still remember the Chub Toad flavor text from a billion years ago. It's Chub Toad at the door. Run away quick or you'll run no more. Right?
it's dark.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Damn, I'm good.
That's some, Brothers Grimm kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, in Froggy Fighter at the gate, draw your sword and meet your fate. I love it. I love it. I would not have made the Chub Toad reference. Thank you, Stark.
So there was a red rare. Yes, a red rare.
Well,
in
because of
original
course there was.
In original Ravnica that changed the way that a lot of people played the game. Do you remember what it was?
Warp World?
Warp World. So, Glimpse of Tomorrow has no cost. Suspend of 3 for 2 red. Shuffle all permanents you own into your library, then reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Put all non-aura permanent cards revealed this way onto the battlefield, then do the same for aura cards, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Notice Warp World affects everybody. This only affects you.
Huh.
Which makes me sad, because I'd rather do it with everybody. But I'm really surprised this doesn't suspend for more than 3 turns. But I guess everybody sees it coming, and it's highly dependent on how much stuff you have out, which somebody could just be like, oh yeah, well then blow up your stuff. So
Yeah, it's not as much of a surprise as Warp World.
For me, this isn't replacing Warp World anytime soon, because so much of the fun is like everybody see what you get.
Huh. That card trips me out. So someone earlier said we should read Chef's Kiss, which, if you scroll back down to Asmore, you can see that she's making, I think, whatever this is in Chef's Kiss. At least the weird teeth thing pointing upward. But, okay, Chef's Kiss for 1 red is a rare instant. Oh, this one. Okay, yeah. Gain control of target spell that targets only a single permanent or player. Copy it, then reselect the targets at random for the spell and the copy. But the caveat is the new targets can't be you or a permanent you control.
Whoa, I had not seen this card.
It's a no, and then you just sort of turn it loose in some other direction that isn't here. It is like in a 2-person game, obviously this is no, and you twice or whatever, but in a multiplayer game, this is just absolute chaos.
Yeah, gonna need to bring out some spin downs or whatever you got to select from the like 30 potential targets. So this is a trippy set. And
this is a trippy set.
I'm wondering, like, we can keep going if you want, but there's gonna be more previews released. Do we just kind of want to pause here and come back to it next week? Because
we can if you guys
or do you want to take like one more card apiece and then call it?
Up to you guys. I'll be here all night, so I don't care.
Mike, Dark?
Sure.
There was one that I saw. What the hell was it? Oh, Turok. Turok is in the set.
Turok? Oh, do you still have the fog of war where you can only see like 5 feet in front of you?
No, not Turok. Turok.
That's a different thing.
Yeah, you know him to Turok? Yeah, this is that Turok.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah, Turok Dread Cantor. I don't know what a cantor is. I thought that was what horses do.
A singer.
Oh, okay. So Turok Dread Singer for 1 and a black is a 2/1 legendary human cleric, and he's mythic. Is a kicker of black. Oh god. Okay. Protection from white. That makes sense. Whenever an opponent discards a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Turok. That seems cool. That works really well with grief. Ooh. And when Turok enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, target opponent discards 2 cards at random. I was waiting on that.
Oh, him to Turok, yeah.
Yeah, because him to Turok costs black.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could just staple him to Turok on him, but then that means he's a
He's a
what is
fourth
it?
a
+1/+1. Yeah, so he's a 4/3.
Yeah. Yeah. And
4/3 for 4, and your opponent just discarded 2 cards. That's really good.
Yeah, it seems pretty good. Yeah.
At random.
At random, yeah.
Let's not forget, yes, they did end up bringing back Hypnotic Specter, and it was like, oh, that's pretty cool, but it was the threat that you couldn't control what you were throwing away that was really problematic. So,
oh my god. Ben looked up the definition of cantor, and it says a person who sings solo verses or passages to which the choir or congregation responds. The hymn to Turok.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
They're responding. That's great. This is like the best name ever. I like this guy. I mean, I hate this guy because discarding 2 cards at random, even if it's not me, is awful. But
Just play without the kicker, and just then.
what? No, the kicker's
discard...
right there. You gotta play it.
Well,
it's a 4/3 for 4, and your opponent just discarded 2 cards.
Do it. Target the guy that only had 2 cards left anyway, and be like, well, look, it doesn't matter if they're random or not, and then pat him on the head.
And then pull your hand away quickly before
it gets bitten.
it gets bitten. Yeah.
Dirk, is there a card that you see that you want to mention?
Yestri, Fortune's Flame.
Oh, yeah,
that
the
guy,
red
he's
blue one?
Weird, yeah.
Yusri?
Yusri.
Oh, it's an Efreet. I was like, that looks like... Oh, okay. Never mind. We're good.
So, for 1 blue-red, he's a legendary creature, Efreet, that's rare and has power 2/3. or power toughness 2/3, has flying. Whenever Yesri Fortune's Flame attacks, choose a number between 1 and 5. Flip that many coins. For each flip you win, draw a card. For each flip you lose, Yesri deals 2 damage to you. If you win 5 flips this way, you may cast spells from your hand this turn without paying their mana costs.
That is such an Efreet thing.
Which you just drew 5 cards. But I am bad at flipping, so I'm just gonna stay away from this guy because he's just gonna kill me.
But isn't there's the
There's
cards
Clark's
that you
Thumb, yeah.
yeah, and be like, no, let me redo that one.
As a reminder, one of the red reprints in this set is Chance Encounter.
Yeah, it
So,
is.
Halfway there.
Stark said, always choose 5. What's a little face damage between friends?
Yeah, I mean, because when you think about it, each coin flip on average is worth half a card and 1 damage. Which, you know, if you want to talk about whole cards, that means you like each, 2 damage per card on average if you're doing multiple flips, which is the same rate you get from something like Greed, which is pretty good. You're not having to pay mana for it, so that's fine.
Yeah.
It starts to add up after a while because 2 life isn't nothing.
No, it's actually really not.
Oh, so half cards. So, like, split cards is what you're saying. Got it.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, look, there's a split card. That's not a split card. What is that called? Aftermath.
Aftermath?
Yeah, okay.
So those are something
there's Road to Ruin
something.
here.
Yeah.
Which is a split card with Aftermath. Yusri, though, is wow, that's a really good, like, flavor representation of the Efreet or, Angry Genie.
Mm.
I really like the feel of this card. And the art, look at that. He's a badass. Look, his top is on fire, but he's got bare feet. That's how you know he doesn't give a damn.
If there's one card I want to mention before we sign off, I love the callbacks here, and as much as I love, like, sort of the semi-serious stuff, like Tack On, it's the hilarious stuff that really has me go, yes. Tell me you didn't go, ha, when you saw Ignoble Hierarch.
This is a good card.
This is a good card, but it's a goblin.
But yeah, I totally did.
So this is a play off the Noble Hierarch, which was, I don't want to say format defining, but it was like
pretty close.
A 4 of in every deck. Yeah.
So okay, wait. The Noble Hierarch flavor text was, she protects the sacred groves from blight, drought, and the unbeholden. Okay, just keep that in mind.
Keep
All
that
right.
in mind. Yeah. So this one, cost of green, is a 0/1. Goblin Shaman. It's not common though. It's rare. It has Exalted, so whenever a creature you control attacks alone, that creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn, including the Hierarch if he attacks on his own. And he has tap. Add black, red, or green to your mana pool. Understood. The flavor text is, he protects the fetid bog from light, life, and the hideous sound of laughter.
I love it. It's one of those
great.
callbacks that just works. He's even got the staff in the other hand
Yeah.
from the Noble Hierarch.
Yeah. Which I can't help but wonder if he didn't just like grab it and run off with it. He's just like, I feel all noble now. But not.
Yeah, like because the Noble Hierarch was so good, like it's probably okay to say the Ignoble Hierarch is. There's no blue in the cost, so it's probably not quite as good, but it's still a good card.
Yeah. This is Jund colors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. I see other great cards, but I'm gonna kind of hold off for next week myself. Mike?
What's really interesting to me is some of the cards that they chose to bring into Modern this set. Like, Counterspell is one of the obvious
Yeah.
ones. But then you also see things like Imperial Recruiter being introduced to Modern.
Yeah.
And Quirion Ranger being introduced to Modern. And I'm just like,
Yep. Did you see in Black Patriarch's Bidding?
Yep, I saw.
Yeah, Patriarch's Bidding. Mm-hmm.
That one made me go.
Mm-hmm. And I think I saw on Facebook earlier today, Flame Rift. So I was like, well then.
Wait, which one's that? 4 damage to each player for 2?
4 damage to each player, yeah, for 1 in a red.
Yeah.
It's a reprint from a common from Nemesis. I don't think it's been reprinted otherwise. Anywhere. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, some of these reprints we've sort of glossed over, but like Goblin Bombardment is here. What? And the Quirion Ranger, Squirrel Mob.
Mm-hmm.
Down on artifacts, there's Zurin Orb, which I don't think matters, but unless there's some sort of weird ass combo thing. But an extruder, really? I guess it goes with the weird.
That's an interesting choice to go with the Arcbound theme.
Yeah, the modular Arcbound thing that's going on, or +1/+1 counters, or whatever they want to call it in the set. Yeah. It's cool. Plus the Arid Mesa, the freaking fetch lands, or at least the enemy colored ones, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are here. And then there are we didn't talk about these at all, but there are indestructible 2-color intertapped artifact lands.
Indestructible.
At common. Artifact lands. Luckily, indestructible means can't be destroyed, but it doesn't mean can't be sacrificed. I'm just saying. I wonder if that's why Zabaz says destroy.
Maybe. I kind of wondered if it was just more on flavor for red, but...
Yeah. And I think it's also like it'd be really... I think it would just be really confusing. People would think the card got misprinted if it was pay a red, sacrifice an artifact you control. And that's all it said. People would think it was misprinted.
But, yeah. Oh, God. Okay, wait. Sorry. We missed one of the big ones. The Void Mirror.
What?
Oh, this is trippy.
Mike, you didn't read any other extra card. What's the Void Mirror do?
Yeah, the Void Mirror, for 2 mana, it's a rare artifact. Whenever a player casts a spell, if no colored mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell.
So, this really is just tech against Tron.
Yeah. It's a 2 mana
and things
hate.
coming off of suspend and things cast for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this kills a grief that was evoked.
That's true.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Plus any artifacts that are cast with just colorless mana, if that's a thing. Oh, but this doesn't work on Garth Onei. Well, it works on the Black Lotus, but because you have to pay for those.
Oh, tech.
It's anti-Garth Onei tech. Sick.
Yeah. But yeah,
Well,
this
you
is the
still have to pay for the. Oh yeah, well, the Lotus. Yes, right.
Yeah, yeah. Which is the one everyone's gonna get, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You just point at the Void Mirror and go,
But I mean, this is the archetypal 2 mana, gonna try to shut down some strategies, hate artifact that we seem to see fairly regularly. Yeah.
I just like, it's not that if it's a colorless spell, it's just if they didn't use any colored mana.
Right.
Which is, it's neat. I don't know any other way to put it.
No, it's good, and it kind of hits what they want it to hit without carrying over into that. Yeah.
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 Like it stops, like pitch spells. You know, like I said, grief earlier, or subtlety. And Mike's mentioned suspend. Alternate costs that aren't mana based, you know. It's just a neat thing. Also, it really punches Tron just right in the face. Okay, I knew there was one like big one that we hadn't mentioned at all that's actually big for Modern. But I couldn't remember what it was until I scrolled past it right there, so nailed it. And there's some other crazy ones that were previewed today that aren't in the card image gallery yet, so we'll get to those next week. But yeah. And yeah, Mike pointed out in the chat that the most of these cards have the reprints have watermarks behind the text. I had not noticed this. So like the extruder has the flask behind it, and Zurin Orb has the snowflake that's Ice Age's expansion symbol.
Squirrel Mob has the. It's from the set that it was printed in. So that's the Odyssey set.
Yeah, the Mirari.
Totally didn't notice that.
I didn't either, and Mike said it in Twitch chat, but not like out loud.
Good job.
Yeah, good job, Mike. You big idiot. I mean, what?
I don't see it on the fetch lands.
Yeah, I noticed that too. That's probably because those are going to be things that people are going to be putting in like every deck. That's probably just an aesthetic choice, just to keep them clean.
Probably. But okay. So should we stop there now for real this time?
I'm good with that if you are.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. There are a lot of reprints from Nemesis.
Yeah.
Like I'm scrolling through looking at them and I see an axe a lot.
Who would have guessed, right?
Right?
Nemesis was a good set, I feel like. It had good stuff in it. I mean, it had a bunch of old, weird, chunky stuff, but it had a bunch of good stuff in it, too.
But weird stuff feels just right at home here. And the M, just the M on Counterspell for Alpha.
Oh, really? I didn't even look at that. Hang on. Scroll.
Mm-hmm.
Scroll.
It's just from Magic.
Yeah, yep. It's just...
Like, it's Counterspell, guys. You know what this thing does.
If you didn't, you will soon.
What is that
Just
art?
Look it up.
That's not a dual deck art. What is that? Because I know I've seen it before.
Yeah.
Oh wait, was it Jace's?
Jace's anthology.
Yeah, the signature spell book. No, that had the dual deck art. What the hell is that art from? Masters 25.
Oh, was it an online set? Masters 25. Oh, Masters 25 was a physical set.
Yeah, that was a paper set.
Okay.
There have been so many Master sets that it's easy to...
Oh, Masters 25, I think everything also had the expansion symbol watermark.
Oh, yeah. It was also in Eternal Masters.
Okay.
This art, that is. Yeah, the signature spellbook art is the dual decks Jace versus Chandra art, just with a fancy frame. Oh, it was also in Commander Legends with this art. Okay. Neat. Okay, anyway. So, shall we wrap it up then, gents?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go for it.
All right. For me, on a personal level, work is kind of crazy and will continue to be crazy going into next week. The beginning of next week after Memorial Day is going to be especially cray cray, but um,
Did you
you
really
know,
just say cray cray?
I did with the cranberries and all that good stuff. That's what that stands for, right?
I think so, yeah.
So, okay. I don't like cranberries. I know you do. But no, I mean everything's otherwise fine. Set, I don't know that I'm gonna get any of this set, just to be perfectly honest. But I am perfectly content to stare at and go, "That's awesome," just because the original Modern Horizons I have a fond memory of because Mike and I went to Washington D.C. for a Grand Prix, and it was Modern Horizons 1 sealed, right? I feel
Right.
like that was yeah, and that was pretty awesome. Uh, don't think I'm gonna be able to have that experience with this, but I'm still content to be like, ha, this is pretty cool. Maybe pick up a pack or two at some point. But otherwise, I'm doing just fine and just kind of trying to wait out the heat because I'm not a hot weather kind of guy. That's it.
Right. Well, I'm sort of in the same boat as Brian, that I'm not a hot weather person. Um, I've that part of my life has sort of gone by and everything, and so I'd prefer to be cool. And moving into the summer is sort of bittersweet for me because not I like being able to be in shorts and sort of the freedom of movement that comes with it, but uh, I don't like the heat. I don't like bugs, and my allergies have been a little crazy the past uh, week to maybe even 3 weeks. So whenever I'm sniffing and everything, it's not because I like doing it. It's because my nose, um, after a while, I have to go blow my nose because it feels like a faucet is uh, about to get turned on in my nose.
Well, that's gross.
Yeah, I know. It's giving you guys pictures. To sort of finish out my final thought and everything, the school year is coming to an end, which means that I've got both tons of things to do and nothing to do.
But
So, yeah, so the nothing to do is, or let me start off with the tons of things to do. So, whenever the students finally take their final exam, which all of it is online this year, um, all their stuff gets in at once. So that way I can go and say, okay, here's your final grade. Here's blah 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 blah, and I can enter in grades and do all that stuff and get that all knocked out. I had an order form for our supplies this for next year. I had to get filled out and everything else. So as soon as all that got done in about an hour, hour and a half, I spent the rest of the day going, well, all right, well I'm done for today. And so you just spend the rest of the time kind of like watching YouTube or some. Be, normally, if I had a room, because I'm a traveling teacher, the past 2 years I don't have an actual room. I teach my class in somebody else's room during their planning period, and because of that, I don't really have a room to you know put stuff up in or clean up or organize or anything of that sort. I have volunteered to go and kind of go through some stuff in another teacher's room to kind of help get that closet area organized. But there's not a whole lot left to do. And then after that, I'm just, again, going to sort of be sitting there bored. So I think tomorrow I've got to make sure I take a book or something to do that will keep me keep me organized and on and keep me from just watching YouTube the whole day after the kids get done taking their test. And tomorrow's the last day that they're supposed to take their test, so my kids do.
Yay.
There's a whole nother week of taking EOCs and CTE exams, which are the state mandated ones.
Elemental.
So,
No?
yeah.
Okay.
That's my final thoughts for today.
Mike?
Yes.
You're up.
All right.
That was not a Mike. I have a question. That was Mike. Go.
Right. What you need? Yeah, going. It's like unfortunately, my only fond memory of the Modern Horizons event that I went to with Brian was like the sightseeing we did the next day, because the event itself was not a net fun experience for me.
Oh,
It's like I thought I built a good deck, but apparently not, and I also ran into patches of unusually bad luck, and then the legacy side event I joined later was weird and frustrating. So I was like, yeah, I'm glad I went sightseeing with Brian's family the next day. Otherwise, I would have been really, really disappointed with that weekend. But stuff in Modern Horizons 2 looks really cool. I really want to see what the full set shapes out to be. There's still a lot of gaps in the version of the card image gallery that we're looking at right now. You know, seeing more of the commons and how the themes that are introduced in what we see so far are filled out in the rest of the set. Seeing more of the reprints. Yeah, I probably won't end up getting any of this just because there won't be an opportunity or a reason to, but it's always fun to see and look at this stuff. And, you know, hey, if I ever play Modern again, there's a bunch of cards that'll be in it. And there's a bunch of old cards that'll be in it. That'll make things interesting. Yeah, and I'm glad I got to show off by repeating the name Asmar Namarnikadis Dinakaldakar.
Damn it. For anyone that came in late, there you go. So, I can't do that because I have not put in the years of study that it takes to say that name without thinking about it. I was trying to think of a long word that I can say, but I don't do long words. Yeah, I'll explain some physics concepts, I guess. That's probably, I probably don't remember any of those either. Anyway.
Nice.
I can no longer do calculus, I know that.
I couldn't do that to begin with, so haha.
I was watching, oh god, I think it was Veritasim's latest video, and he's talking about integrating this long-ass thing, and my brain looked at it, and I was like, oh, I should be able to... Nope, it is completely gone. Oh well. I was never terribly good at it to begin with. But anyway, so as for me, I've been playing Hitman on stream, the first of the new Hitman games. Hitman no subtitle. And it is glorious and amazing. There's a video by, I can't remember if it was Adam Millard or Rasputin. I think it's Adam Millard on YouTube that explained that Hitman is not a stealth game. It's actually a puzzle game. And since I've been playing it, I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah. Because like a stealth game, you have to sneak places. And there's actually very little sneaking in Hitman. You're just trying to solve the puzzle of, okay, what disguise can I wear to get me in there where I need to be? Okay, now how do I go about getting that disguise without getting busted? And it's fun to figure that out. And then once you get in there, how do I, kill my target also without getting busted? And there are lots of different ways to kill any given target. So it's really fun. Like the last time I streamed, I went into the Marrakesh level for the first time. And as someone who has been playing video games like my entire life, the Marrakesh level completely blew me away. There are hundreds, you guys that play video games, hundreds of people, fully rendered people walking around this level. Because it's a marketplace in Marrakesh. And, like, I was walking through the level trying to figure out what to do, and I just stopped and went, look at this! And my computer can do this while streaming. And they're just hundreds of people. And I'm just like, I can't get over how far video games have come. I can remember games where you couldn't have more than like 5 characters on screen at once.
Yeah, and if there were too many moving sprites on one line, one of them would start to flicker.
Yeah. But these weren't just like copy pastes of each other. There probably were some, but if you were to just look out amongst them, you wouldn't be able to be like, okay, there's 4 of white guy in hat, and there's 3 of blonde woman with red dress. No. It's amazing. And the first Hitman game is from, oh god, what, like 4 years ago? Hang on. It is from 2016. It's 5 years ago. And it was that good. I just can't, y'all. I just can't. But anyway, so I've been playing that on Monday. That's Monday Night Murder. So you should come hang out, because Hitman is so much fun, and I love it so much. And then I've been doing the Doom franchise run. Remember, I was going to play through all the Doom games, and I sort of stalled for a while. Well, I went back to Doom 2 again last night, actually, and played through more levels. Doom 2 is so much more fun in its level design than Doom 1 was. Like, Doom 1 was very,
simple and straightforward.
Yeah, it's very well, not straightforward, but it's very functional. Like, the later levels in the first Doom are much more confusing because they're bigger and there are more places to go. And where the hell was the red door? I need a blue key. I haven't even seen a blue key, But, and then there was that last level, or that last mission pack for Doom 1, which was made after Doom 2. Which I can't remember its name now, unfortunately. But 1990. Hang on. But it had 3 sections, or 4 sections, I think, and the first 3 were made before, and then later they made the last one and added it into the first Doom. I can't freaking find it now, but whatever. Those were made by someone who hated people that played Doom in that last chunk. Like, those were made by people who wanted to punish you for playing Doom. Whereas in Doom 2, the levels are much more fun and entertaining and wide open and interesting, as opposed to, corridors with the occasional courtyard. And that's it. Meh. And that continued. I'm in the city part. You know, they're every 10 levels in Doom 2 is a different section. And I only got through 4 in 2.5 hours because the levels are so big and sprawling, because you're in a city. So you're walking around through buildings and stuff, trying to figure out what the hell. But it's still more fun than the last part of Doom 1. Which was just like a slog because they intentionally were punishing the player. Which, you know, is cool, I get it. But, damn.
I don't think I ever beat Doom without a cheat code. I don't know if that applies to Doom 2 as well. Doom 2, the last boss, is difficult. You actually have to aim really well and, you know, not die. But Doom 1 is horrible. I mean, it's great for what it set up, but yeah. So, are you still playing Final Fantasy on Fridays? FF Friday?
I have actually not done a Final Fantasy Friday in several weeks now because I finished the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I've decided not to finish the bonus dungeons one, because they're just super repetitive and the only good parts are the bosses. But you have to go through each dungeon, fight the boss, get teleported out, go through the dungeon again, find a different boss, fight it, get teleported out, and it sucks. So, but I haven't decided if I'm going to continue Final Fantasy Fridays, and if so, if I'm going to play Final Fantasy 2 or skip straight to 4. I don't know why I haven't made that decision yet. I just haven't. So, hey, if you have an opinion, let me know. Because I've never played 2 and 3. And since I have access to all of the essentially best versions of it, I feel like I should. But then I don't want to. Because 2 isn't good. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. By the way, the last chunk of the first Doom is Thy Flesh Consumed. That was the one that was added in the Ultimate Doom. That's the one that was made by people that hate people that play Doom. Right. I had to look it up. It was killing me. But, yeah, so that's going on. I made the announcement in the last episode about the MCU Rewatch Project. I'm working on a video announcement of that. I've got the script, I think, damn near finished. I've sent it to a few people to read over, gotten some feedback, made a couple changes. I've sent it to the dorks earlier for hopefully at least 1 or 2 of them will read over it and give me some feedback. So, yeah. I just need to get my appearance figured out, because I don't know if any of y'all come to the streams, but my hair is really long and kind of awful. I gotta do something with it. It's killing me. So yes, I'm being vain. All right, fine. But yeah, once I've also got 2 pages of notes on Iron Man. 1 page full of like, you know, actual story notes or video notes and whatnot, and then another page full of timestamps for footage that I would need when I'm making certain points that I have to then go, you know, grab so I can put it in a video. And having never done that before, it's gonna take me some time. So yeah, bear with me on that. But like I said, the announcement video, hopefully I will get recorded soon and then start editing that together, and all that can go up. I'm very excited about this whole project still. I had some things, like personal things going on that sort of knocked me off of it for about a week, but no, all that crap's over, and I'm all excited again. I've watched Iron Man twice now, both times without Mike, because Mike never said anything about coming over to watch the MCU movies.
Yeah.
See? But anyway, that's what's going on with me. I'm also want to start streaming a few other things. I don't know what yet. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow night because one of my cousins is going to crash with me tomorrow night. But that doesn't matter for the audio podcast, so I don't know why I'm saying it. So, I would like to thank the lifeguards, though, which I have open in a different tab. So, hey, the patreon.com/themanapool. All patrons, by the way, are going to get early access to my MCU movies. All patrons, all of you lifeguards. So, because I like early access, so you can watch them and be like, hey, this was not funny, or this was insensitive, or the pacing is really slow, or this, whatever. I want a lot of eyes on this. So, yeah, hell yeah. Jam! So,
Not sure what that was.
yeah, I'll anybody who wants to sign up to be a lifeguard, go to patreon.com/themanapool, and you can help me shape these things, help be my checkers and my beta test, my focus group, whatever you want to call yourselves. Because since this MCU project is like a whole new thing that is completely unlike anything I've ever done before, I'm gonna want some help. I'm gonna need some help to make it the best it can be, because I don't want to accidentally say something boneheaded that's offensive, and that would make the whole thing suffer, you know?
Good
And
thought.
when I spend so much time editing a thing together, I lose the ability to watch it and be like, yeah, that sucks. Like, yeah, I was just about to say, Ben helped me with that Doom video I did. He's like, there's this whole section towards the end that's just lame. I went, what are you talking about? And then I watched it and I went, God, that is lame, isn't it? Jesus. So I fixed it. He's like, I can't tell what's going on. There's just a bunch of, it's just you walking around. It's like, okay, yeah, let me fix that. So I added in more things and visual aids and things, and it was awesome after that. But I would have caught it. So yeah, that's why I need your help. I need you to be brutal. All that. But I also need to thank the Mythic Lifeguards by name. So let me go do that. I would like to thank Violet Moon, Team Hellas Haru, and somehow while I've been playing with this cable, I tied it in a knot. Stan McGonk, Scuzzo, PJ McMullen, Mr. Dr. Lewis, Beardy Man, Kim Ho, Casey, John Parker, Jeff Spencer, Jason Kaus, Jason Doan, Jake, one more time, Jake Jansons. There we go. Too many Jasons. Jasons mess with me. Connor Kennedy, Cody Buckowing, Andrew Hunt, ALK Alters, Aleph Cat, Al, and the Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine. Thank you all so very much for your support, and to all of the lifeguards at every tier, because I quite literally could not do this without you. And yeah, with that, we will be done with the Mana Pool number 623. So thank you all so very much for joining us, and let us know if you can say, Mike?
Asmer and Marticatus in a Koldagar.
Because I sure as hell can't.